let's kill this plant. Lee here, and this is the aluminum plant. I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can make more of this plant. Over the next few weeks, we'll see what's the best way to propagate this plant, in water or soil. So my plant has been sitting about 4 feet away from a south-facing window, and it started to get a little bit leggy. Cutting back this plant will actually help it get a more bushy and filled out look. You can cut this plant just below where 2 leaves meet. Remember to pull off a few sets of leaves because this is where the new roots will grow from. For our water method, we'll use distilled water and change the water about once a week. For our soil method, we'll use 2 parts Miracle-Gro sphagnum peat moss soil and 1 part perlite. We'll place 2 cuttings in the same pot. I wanted to experiment with and without rooting hormone, so we'll use this Velcro plant tie to remember which is which. I'll water the soil about once a week. As always, our plants will be placed in bright indirect light with around 60% humidity. We are back. It's been 8 days since our original propagation and our aluminum plant is looking like hot garbage. This soil propagation is definitely not working out for me. Almost immediately I started to see the plant start to wilt, even though the soil remained fairly damp for the first couple days. And things just kept getting worse and worse from there. So I know for sure that this plant is not going to make a recovery, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, pull off some of these dead leaves, stick it in water, and hopefully it can make some sort of miraculous recovery. We'll see. So it's been 8 days, and as you can see, our water propagation is a lot more successful than our soil propagation. The plant is looking bright green and healthy. And taking a closer look at these roots, there's a lot of roots coming from many different places along the stem. They're about 2 to 3 centimeters long. So we'll continue with our water propagation to see if we can get some longer roots. We're back just over 20 days in, checking in with our aluminum plant. First, let's look at our original water propagation. As you can tell, there is a whole ton of root growth. I think it may be ready to be transferred over to a soil medium, but I might give it another 1 to 2 weeks just to be safe. And looking at the propagation that we saved from soil, the root development is really great. It's almost as long as our original water propagation, which is really good. I think we can probably attribute that to just the different leaf size. So that really speaks to remembering that when you're going for a water propagation, make sure that you're choosing the largest, healthiest parts of the plant so that root growth can develop even faster. We are back almost 30 days later, checking in again with our aluminum plant. Let's see, the root growth is going extremely well. I think we are ready to put this into soil. And double checking the plant that we saved. Root growth looks about the same as the one originally propagated, so we're going to plant everything together. So now that we're ready to pot this up, we're going to use a 3-inch plastic pot, and the soil types I'm going to use is 2 parts potting soil and 1 part perlite. Last time I did use sphagnum peat moss, but my luck was not so great, so I think I'll try to avoid it this time. After 56 days from our first cut, we can call this project a success. Our aluminum plant has successfully rooted and is showing signs of new growth. After I potted this up in soil, it took about a week and a half for the soil to begin to dry out. I made sure not to let it dry out completely, and now that it's rooted, the plant is on a typical watering schedule of once every 8 days. Keep in mind that depending on your light exposure, humidity, and soil, your watering schedule might differ. Thanks for following this propagation with me. I learned never to use that Miracle-Gro sphagnum peat moss again.